Good afternoon, old gun guy here. Welcome to my video today. It's going to be on interesting little cartridge and little carbine that fires it. The FN 5.7 by 28 millimeter PDW cartridge, personal defense weapon cartridge, and the FN Fabrique Nationale PS90, the semi-automatic version of the fully automatic PDW, the P90 submachine gun. Unique class of weapons, and they're all weapons because they're designed for human adversaries, bad guys. Today we have my tennis racket, and that's what we're going to discuss, my tennis racket. Just a handy little case for this PS90 carbine, FN, olive green, olive drab. I've had it for about 20 years. This weapon system has come out 35 years ago, 1990. I'll go into the cartridge first. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, wanted to replace or augment the 9mm M9 Beretta pistol that support troops are given. Artillery soldiers, tank crewmen, armored vehicle crewmen. They wanted something more with greater range and effectiveness than a 9mm handgun. Of all the small arms to fire accurately, the handgun is the hardest to master. A rifle or a carbine or a submachine gun is a lot easier than a handgun to accurately hit your adversary who are trying to harm you. So the concept was very much like the in World War II. They didn't want to issue everybody an M1 Garand, full power 30-06 battle rifle. They came out with the M1 carbine for support troops or officers, something more effective than a 1911 handgun. Greater range, and you could hit somebody 100 yards, 150 yards away. Unlike you could with a 1911, unless you were quite lucky. It wasn't designed for that. So NATO put out a lighter powered cartridge than the 5.7X NATO, and FN set to the task, and they developed the 5.7 by 58 28mm cartridge. It looks like a miniature 5.56. Compare it to the 308, it's quite diminutive. And smaller than the 5.56. I don't have a 5.56 of all things laying around here. Just a 223. The case is 28mm in length. It's a bottleneck case. It's an original cartridge design. There's no parent cartridge. It's rebated rim. It means the rim is smaller than the case body, and that's kind of unusual in a modern world. There are other cartridges, rebated rim. I'm trying to think, 25 ACP comes to mind. There are a few others, but it's not you get to have a small bolt face and a larger powder capacity. The cartridge has proven effective over the years. They developed the cartridge specifically for the P90, which is the PDW submachine gun variant, which has a 10-inch barrel. This has a 16 overall to make it civilian legal. And it lacks the selective fire feature that the P90 does. But other than that, everything else, it's pretty much the same weapon. The cartridge has a max chamber pressure. It's 223, 224 thousandths of an inch projectiles, and NATO liked that because the standard 5.56 rounds, there's very little alteration to produce projectiles and load the cartridge. I went up against when they were having the trials. The Germans developed this 4.6 by 30mm personal defense weapon cartridge. I think the H&K M7, and the NATO judges found the 5.7 to be a better cartridge, a better combination, more efficient. And Germans didn't like that, so they had piss and match, and it never got adopted or standardized until 2021. So, but it's been adopted by a lot of militaries as a weapon for support personnel. 224 thousandths of an inch. Useful projectile weights are 23 grains to 40. That's all. It's a very narrow range for this little case and little round. It operates at a max chamber pressure. That's CIP. There's no SAMI spec for it, but the European spec is 50,000 psi maximum chamber pressure. 1 in 9 rifling twist. I think it's 8 grooves actually. But one of the requirements was this 5.7 go through soft body armor. I think level 3A up to 200 meters, and with the specialized FN. The armor piercing projectiles, the original one was 23 grains, and then it was doing like 2,800 feet a second. It was replaced by a 31 grain load doing 2350 out of the muzzle of a P90. They developed a 5.7 handgun, FN, also to go with it, but when fired out of a handgun, you lose 4 to sometimes 500 feet a second in muzzle velocity and hence effectiveness. These little 22 caliber rounds require high impact velocities to be effective. Like I said, the P90, the PDWs, a personal defense weapon is by definition a fully automatic weapon, or capable of fully automatic fire. This is not. I fired the full auto P90 in one of my training classes I attended many years ago when I was in the tactical realm of the police business, the SWAT stuff, and it impressed me. The P90 impressed me. It's very accurate, very easy to control, and really no real recoil impulse, even full auto. Cyclic rate was kind of high. It was like maybe 1,000, 900, 1,000. I was used to MP5s, and they run about 750, 800, but very futuristic looking, weapon system. That's about it for the cartridge. I mean, the civilian legal rounds, I actually have one here. The FN, the 40 grain VMAX projectiles, and I'm not going to really do much shooting with them. I have several boxes of the American Eagle 40 grain full metal jacket. Which is what this round is. But I'll do all my tests with probably with the American Eagle. I'll run a couple of rounds of, I have some FN, the 40 grain VMAX, and I have some FN Gunner with a 40 grain full metal jacket, very much like this bullet on the American Eagle. I'll run all 3 of them over the chronograph, 3 shots apiece when I do the shooting part of the test. That's enough for the cartridge. You're going to the rifle or the weapon, the carbine. All guns are tools, all firearms are tools. This was designed for personal defense against bad guys or people trying to do you harm, human adversaries. It's the PS90, semi-auto. The 90 designation comes from the Europe. They released it, both the cartridge and the weapon, 1990s. It's 35 years ago. This was the civilian one they released after the military P90 version. In fact, I think the Secret Service uses a P90. There's SWAT teams and special forces units that have adopted this weapon, and a lot of TV shows. They're like the futuristic look of it, and it is an odd-looking gun with these like donut hole grips. But I'll go over that. Let's see. From the front, you get a integral flash hider, part of the barrel assembly. The barrel is actually the rifle part, or the part the bullet travels in, about 14 inches or 14 and a half inches, and this is the other 2 inches, but it's all one unit, so it meets the legal definition for the National Firearms Act, 16-inch barrel. When they were designing the P90, like I said, they wanted a weapon that could, had an effective, accurate range to 200 meters, 220 yards. It couldn't be over 2 kilograms, which I think is 6.4 pounds. I think the P90 is 5 3/4 or 5.8 pounds, and this is 6.2 pounds because you got a extra barrel length. They met all their design criteria, and like I said, it's been adopted probably by 30 or 40 countries over the last few decades. I acquired this one over 20 years ago, used. Gun show dealer had a bunch of them. I knew what this was, and I picked it up off the table, and I think he just wanted to get rid of it. I got it for like $850. And it's a early one with the original military sight, the tritium powered, let's see if I can remember the name here, MC1080 sight, and this upper carry handle portion. But let's go with a rifle first, the carbine. Magazine is very unique, and that's a patented feature of this gun also. Magazine standard capacity is 50 shots, 50 rounds. There are blocks to reduce this to 30 or 10, and I believe due to its unique configuration, it doesn't trigger any of the, if you're in a restrictive state, assault weapon nonsense. No bayonet lug, no threaded muzzle, no pistol grips. These are not pistol grips. They're kind of like thumb hole. They feel like, they look like donuts to me. I believe it's 50 state legal. Obviously, check if you're in a restrictive state, check your local laws. But it's like I said, integral barrel, 14.5-inch barrel, 16 inches overall. It's semi-automatic, but it's interesting. Even with that high pressure, this is a straight blowback weapon. The breech is not locked when you fire it. It's a bullpup design, meaning the firing mechanism and the rear of the barrel and bolt is behind the trigger group. It makes for a much shorter, compact weapon, and this is a compact weapon. One of the design parameters for the P90 was, I guess, for armored crewmen going out in armored vehicles. The weapon was supposed to be no wider than a man's shoulders. Now, obviously, this one is wider than my shoulders because I got 6 inches of extra barrel. But the P90 is, I think, 20 inches overall length, and that's about the width of a man's shoulders. So if it's strapped sideways across somebody's back, and they get out of an armored vehicle with it. And it was designed for close, personal defense, something more effective, and due to its, generous ammunition capacity, it's quite useful. It's fully ambidextrous, feeds from the top and ejects straight out the bottom. That's the bottom ejection chute, and it's got a charging handle on each side. It's fully ambidextrous. So I'm righty, I would pull the left side, but if you're lefty, you charge it with the left handle. The fire control switch is in the trigger group and just rotates right in front of the trigger. Safe and fire. Obviously, if you had the P90, there's one more for full auto. But this is just, I gotta take my glasses off to see. Safe and fire. This forward grip is like a shelf for your fingers, and there's your firing grip, kind of like that. It's very easy to disassemble the 6 components. In the summary, I'll do a field strip of this thing and take all the parts out of it just to show you how it comes apart. The magazine, very unique. The rounds sit sideways in the translucent plastic magazine, and then they rotate 90 degrees to be fed into the weapon. So when you load this magazine, the first round of putting a magazine is always tricky. Let me see if I can get up here. You're gonna push it in and back, and then when you push the next one in, it rotates. It rotates 90 degrees. There we go. And so on. When they're sitting in a magazine, you can see how much ammo you have. Throughout the plastic, it's a nice feature. They're very durable. I've never had any problems with plinking or shooters. When I acquired this years ago, the ammo was pretty cheap. I think I used to get this $18 a box. So now the cheapest stuff I found is this FN Gunner stuff. It's about $35 a box. And if you get any of the FN, the 27 grain stuff they sell, it's over $1 a shot. It's $60, ridiculous. So I haven't shot this much I shoot it occasionally. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun plinking gun. Its sole purpose is basically, you plink with it or target shoot or personal defense. Would it make an adequate firearm for defending your house? Absolutely. Maneuverable, short. Recoil is almost non-existent. Muzzle blast is not objectionable even without your ears off. Inside a house it's loud, but outside no problems with that. The sight itself, the later ones have a Picatinny rail, so you can put any type of optic you want. This has the military sight, and if this should ever go out, I don't know if I can get a close up of the sight. I got a picture of the reticle, but it's almost like a soda straw. It goes up when you get the gun up on target. Your eye aligns with this optical sight. It's under normal daylight conditions, it's black. I drew a picture of what it looks like if it didn't come through on the camera, and it is tritium powered. So when I first got this, at nighttime, the reticle would glow red. But tritium has a half-life of 12 years or so, a little over 12 years. So after 12 years, it's got half the brightness, and after another 12 years, it's got, I have this probably over 20 years. So the tritium's pretty much decayed and dead. It's a radioactive isotope of hydrogen. It powers the sun and hydrogen bombs, but that's what powered the reticle. The later variants, they put a battery-powered electronic illuminating device. But if it goes out, if you broke the sight, or it's got these rudimentary sights on either side, iron sights, if you will. There's a little notch here on the rear of the handle, and the front blade. I'm trying to see if they can come over there like that. There's one on each side, left or right, and gives you basic aiming points. From close quarters to 100 yards, the reticle's real quick on the targets. At distance, I think it's 1.5 magnification, the power of it. But the reticle basically looks like that. And the inner round donut is 20 MOA, and the dot in the center of that is 3.5 MOA. So it's really not precise. It's just designed for fast, close quarter shooting, and it's pretty good at that. It's easy to acquire, shoot the targets. I shoot some of this out of sequence, so yes, I've shot steel plates with it. I can ping them pretty quick with this. The filming is what lacks. But this breaks into 6 parts, and it's very simple, and it's just straight pull back. I don't know if I charge it, you can see the operating rod and the bolt going back and forth. But the interesting thing also is the trigger module on this thing is like, it sits back here, you push a button after you slide the butt plate off, and you can release the trigger module. But I'll show how that comes apart. I'm going to do my standardized test. I'll do a chronograph, 3 shots. I'll do a recoil demonstration. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to shoot this gun on my chin to show you how little recoil is. Fire 2 shots close up on the camera. Do some 100-yard accuracy test. Fire off the bench 5 or 6 shots at a 100-yard target. Just see what kind of grouping I get. Like I said, the sight's very rudimentary. At distance, like if you're trying to look at a plate or something, and at the 220 yard plate I have in the yard, 200 meters, you can barely make it out in this little sight. And like I said, it wasn't designed for sniper rifle use or long range, but I can hit the 220 yard plate with it, so 200 meters, so it is accurate to that. It's pretty flat shooting. From 0 to 100 yards, you hit everything all the time, no problem, and quickly. That's really what this is designed for. If you had this in your house as your personal protection defense weapon, you'd be well served. I'm going to do 2 terminal effects tests. I'm going to do one with the terminal effects is an analog for a human or animal adversary, human adversary in this case. 6 inches of water, bullet strikes first. 3/4 inch piece of plywood, heavy bone, another jug of water, another piece of plywood, more heavy bone, and more fluid medium. The first test I'll do with some old 2A body armor I had. I'll put it in front of the first jug. So body armor, jug, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, jug, and see if what happens or what the 5.7 will do. I've never done a terminal effects test with this round. I'm just going to use this Federal range ammo, American Eagle, nothing exotic. I'll just see what it does. And then I'll repeat the test with just a standard terminal effects test. Jug of water, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, 2 more jugs of water, more plywood, and see what happens. A good result, self-defense result, is to go through the first jug of water and completely through the plywood, because it's 2 different mediums, density. I'll do some steel plates offhand. I'll shoot this thing at the 220 yard plate. I'll probably do it off the bench, and then put the long range camera down there so we see either the hits or the vapor trail, because the camera picks up a lot of time the vapor trail. So I can see where I missed, or if I missed, or whatever, where it hit. Do that. Accuracy test, the two terminal effects tests, recoil, and then when I come back, I'll just go over the observations, the stuff we observed or found out, and I'll field strip this in the summary in case anybody's interested that has acquired one of these or field stripping. I think now these new are in the range of $1,500, kind of like a fancier AR. And AR is more versatile. This is, basically, it's a very handy weapon. And if it intrigues you, go ahead and get one. They're fun to shoot. Getting expensive to shoot these days. There's really no reloading data for this. And these things, people that have tried to reload them are very sensitive to slight variations in powder charges and so forth. Do that, come back, I'll do a field strip and just wrap up the summary. So I'll go to the shooting next. Okay, I'm going to do a chronograph, 3 different ammos. Most of the shooting I'm going to do today is with this American Eagle 40 grain full metal jacket range ammo, 5.7x28. It looks like that in a magazine. I'm going to do 3 shots. I have some FN high performance ammo with a 40 grain VMAX, and I have some FN Gunner with the same kind of projectile, 40 grain full metal jacket, lead projectile. So I'll do the first 3 shots with the American Eagle, and then we'll move on to the other ones. First up, American Eagle. (2014). (2040). 2048. Got to change ammo. Next up, this FN gunner with a 40 grain full metal jacket projectile. Looks like that. New string up. $2,036. $2,029, pretty much the same as the Federal. And 2012 or 72. It's brutally hot out here. I'm glad I'm doing this. This is 10 o'clock in the morning, 95 degrees out. High performance ammunition, 40 grain VMAX bullet. Little polymer tip bullet, 40 grains. FN, 3 shots. All right. $2,070. $2,037. And $2,055. So they're all in the neighborhood with the same weight projectile. That is 14.5-inch barrel. Obviously it's 16 with the included flash hider on it. That'll be it for our chronograph test. I'll go in the summary, the energy figures and the velocity averages, but they're all pretty much the same. On to the next thing. $2,014. $2,040. $2,048. $2,029, pretty much the same as the Federal. And 2012 or 72? 2012. Okay. $2,070. $2,037. And $2,055. So they're all in the neighborhood with the same weight projectile. That is 14.5-inch barrel. Okay, instead of comparative recoil, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm just going to demonstrate the recoil, or lack of. I'm going to fire 2 shots off my chin. I'm going to take it on the chin. Let's see if I'm in the camera shot here. Take it off safe. Nothing. It's very low. Firing this cartridge out of a 6-pound rifle, very little recoil. That'll be it for the recoil demonstration. Okay, I'm gonna do my 100-yard accuracy test. I'm gonna do 5 shots with the Federal 40 grain 5.7x28, and see what a little PS 90 can do at 100 yards here. Camera's running on the target at 100, close up, and take the shots. Alright, let me pause this, run down and see what we did. Okay, the first couple in the black, and then I get vertical shot dispersion. I'm going to fire another 3. I got the camera still running down there. And of course I'll edit out the dead space. So I put my ears on. The reticle on this thing, besides the T-post, it's a 20 MOA circle with a 3.5 MOA aiming dot. It's very indistinct, and it's only 1.5 power. And I don't know what the reticle is, 3/8 of an inch or something. It's like looking through a soda straw. So, but all of the shots were on a man-sized target in the chest area, so I'm just not as tight as I like. Okay, I just had to repeat that. It's printing about 2.5, 3 inches high at 100. Maybe a 4 MOA group. This is me drifting upward. Like I said, the reticle's real indistinct. There's 1, 2, 3 on the first string. The next 3 are here. And these are from the first string. So it's 8 shots total. They're all in the boiler works. They'd all get the job done at 100 yards. The max effective range of this platform is supposed to be 200 yards. That's accurate. I actually just dinged a 220 yard plate, but I got to set up the long range camera. I'll do a plate demonstration in a little bit, but on to the next demonstration. Okay, before it gets too savagely hot, I'm gonna shoot at our 220 yard plate. The maximum listed effective range of this particular weapon system. You get the long range camera running. What's good about this sling is you can quick detach it. It's got a snap on it. Turn my ears on. Through this little soda straw optic, I can barely make that plate out back there, but let's see what we can do. I think I hit it. Try to 100. I don't know if it's in the camera. That's on the money. I honestly can't tell if I'm hitting the plate or not. I have to review the camera footage. On to the next thing. Actually, I just put it on the 100, zoom the other camera on the 100-yard plate. I just want to see where it's hitting. Try the little plate. Yeah, it's on the money. Try the 220 once more. I think I dinged it. I heard it out there, but we shall see. All right, soda straw optic. I can barely make that plate out back there. Let's see what we can do. I think I hit it. Try the 100. I don't know if it's in the camera. It's on the money. I honestly can't tell if I'm hitting the plate or not. I have to review the camera footage. Actually, I just put it on the 100, zoom the other camera on the 100-yard plate. I just want to see where it's hitting. Try the little plate. Yeah, it's on the money. Try the 220 once more. I think I dinged it. I heard it out there, but we shall see. All right, on to the next. Okay, I'm gonna do my little ballistic pendulum test. Since this was designed to replace or augment the 9mm pistol, I'm gonna use my Glock 19, 2 shots, and then the PS90, 2 shots on the 8-inch round steel plates. They're like ballistic pendulums hanging on rubber straps. I can note the energy imparted. I'll do the 9mm on the right plate and the 5.7 on the center plate. So first up will be the 9mm. The other camera's running close up on the plate. This is loaded with Plus P Plus 124 grain full metal jacket. And that's our 9mm. They're hand loaded a little hot. Let's charge this. This got such a high offset, I'm going to have to aim for the top of the center plate. And the striking energy actually seems less with this than the 9mm, but the mass is quite different. 115 grain, 124 grain versus 40 grain projectile. So we'll move on to our next demonstration. That's our 9mm. Their hand load's a little hot. Charge this. This got such a high offset, I'm going to have to aim for the top of the center plate. I'm just gonna plink a few steel plates from 25 to about 90 yards from where I'm standing, the furthest plate. And I get the other camera running. I don't know if it'll capture all the plates. Now I'll see if I can do point of view. Let's go with the 50. And 100. And then I'm going to get the long range camera and try the 220 yard plate. I'll see if I can do point of view. Okay, going to do first a 2 terminal effects test with our FN PS90, shooting the 5.7 by 28 millimeter FN cartridge. Nothing exotic. American Eagle range ammo, 40 grain projectile, full metal jacket, spire point. I'll do one shot. I have piece of level 2 body armor in front of a 6-inch water jug, followed by a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, the standard terminal effect target. Behind that, one more water jug and another piece of plywood. I doubt I'll need anything beyond that. But put my ears on, we'll take the shot. The other camera's running in slow motion. And I think I corrected the exposure on that, so I think it's nice and clear now. Alright, take them in the shot. Let me clean that up and we'll autopsy that. Let me pause the camera. Okay, we're back. Actually, a pretty good result. Kind of surprised me. I knew it would go through the body armor, but it would have been quite effective. Just range ammo. All right. Body armor is old. Point blank. The 2 panels make 2A. Entered here. Low, because there's a very high offset on that optic on that gun. And exited here. Right there. This is previously shot, but that's where it exited. Hit the first water jug. Right there, little hole in, blew out the back. Pretty impressive. Went through the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. One, entrance, exit. Hit the second jug. Might have gone in here, I don't know. It's probably flying sideways. It looks like it exited here. And a couple of fragments are left in the second piece of plywood behind the second water jug. So that's pretty effective. I'm going to do a standard thermal effects test without body armor. Just water jug, plywood, water jug, plywood. And see if we can capture anything. But I'm zipping right through the 2A body armor into the through one water jug and a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and that would be an effective defensive round. I really didn't think it would. I knew it would puncture the jug, but I didn't think it would go through the plywood. But it did. And second jug, 2 jugs of water. So with that, I'll set up for the second thermal effects test. Let me pause this. Okay, second thermal effect test. No body armor in the front. 6 inches of water, 3/4 inch piece of plywood. This is the one that was just shot. It was a fresh piece of plywood. Went through on the first test after going through the body armor. Second jug, third jug, 2 3/4 inch sheets of plywood. And I just put the body armor back there in case we capture the frac. Got my ears on. One shot. Not to aim kind of high. Didn't capture any projectile, but it was pretty effective. Went through 3 jugs of water and a 3/4 inch sheet of plywood. That would have been an effective, very effective round, self-defense round. First jug, little hole here, split the back. It entered here. I reversed the plywood. This is the exit from the first shot. This is the entrance, exit. Second jug hit. Looks like it was going sideways. Ripped it out. Ripped out the back of it. Third jug of water. Was veering off to the left. Entered here. Ripped out here. Went off into the woods. In the second jug, there was a lot of fragments of wood. And keep in mind, this is just American Eagle range ammo. There's nothing special about this stuff. Nothing exotic. It's no exotic FN rounds. Just 40 grain full metal jacket. Would do the job. Going to our next demonstration with the PS90. Okay, I'm gonna go over how to break this little firearm down. It's kind of weird looking, very simple though. Obviously, do the safety checks, but first put on safe. You have to have the hammer cocked before you take it apart. So you have to pull these 2 tabs back to release the magazine. All right. Check you got no ammo in there. It's clear. All right, the hammer's cocked now. So this is the takedown button here. You depress this big round button here, and out comes the barrel assembly with the sight attached. I'm not going to pull the spring out, but you can take the spring out, operating rod, just because I'm going to throw the gun back together real quick. Next, you got to take the barrel moving the bolt assembly out. You can either push it through the magazine well or here through the upper part where it feeds. Just push it forward until you can grab it. Take the whole assembly out. Bolt, operating springs, right there, all easily accessible for cleaning. Next, the trigger group. Butt pad, got to slide straight up off the back. And this is the trigger module here. It's got a little lever. This little lever in the back of the trigger module. You push it up. Push it up, pull out the whole module. The housing is plastic. The hammer is plastic. In fact, the only thing is steel in there is the springs. Extremely durable. FN doesn't build junk. When I first saw this, I go, ooh, but it's proven to be very durable. Thousands and thousands of rounds people have, you know, FN is fired and the thing doesn't fail. And basically, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is these two parts here. You pull them down, you torque them out, and take the spring out. I don't have to do that to clean it though. And you really don't have to clean it, so it's all easy accessible. Why make extra work for yourself? Put it back together. Okay, reassembly. Trigger module. Gotta go in, you get it to about here. You have to use 2 hands. You pull this up until it seats. Butt plate back on. Just slides in the grooves here. Just slides, that's it. Bolt assembly goes into the buttstock like that. Just drop it down. The barrel group, slide it into the plastic till you hit the takedown button, push that in, get it under the plastic. That's it. Okay, back for my summary of my observations on the PS90, very fine little carbine, very specialized little carbine, and the 5.7 cartridge. There's a plethora of firearms now made for this cartridge, handguns, carbines, I think AR upper, AR-57, several of the carbine rifles, of course the original, the FN, still being produced. Civilian market. The 5.7 pistol, you do lose about 450 feet to 500 feet a second velocity in the handgun, and these little projectiles need all the speed they can get to do the job intended, you know, which is to save your life, being a defensive weapon. Fun gun to shoot if you own one. Getting expensive. I'm sure on the internet, if you shop around, you could probably find this stuff maybe $25 a box, $26 a box, but 50 cents a shot, which ain't too bad. And but with up to 50 shot capacity, holds quite a lot of ammunition, and you go through it real quick, and it gets expensive if you want to keep shooting it. But it's a lot of fun. You plink with it. In a personal defensive role, if this is by your bedside or in your closet, you'd be well served with it. I did the chronograph test. I'll go over that first. American Eagle and this FN Gunner stuff, 40 grain full metal jacket, and this is 40 grain VMAX Hornady, the FN produced ammo. The American Eagle, 2,034 feet a second average, 368 foot-pounds of energy. I'll leave that up there for a second. If anyone can read my doctor's like writing, my chicken scratch. The FN Gunner, 40 grain full metal jacket, it averaged 2,025 feet a second and 360 foot-pounds of energy. All basically the same velocities and average velocities and energy. The high performance FN was 2,055 feet a second and 375 foot-pounds of energy. Very much handgun-like. It's not a rifle cartridge, not a pistol cartridge, not an intermediate rifle cartridge. It's in its own unique category. Did that. I did the recoil comparison. I didn't compare it against anything else. I just shot it off my chin just to show how next to non-existent recoil there is. I wouldn't do that with anything that had any type of recoil, because I got a partial, I wound up knocking it out. That's the last thing I want to do. Did the ballistic plates, the ballistic pendulums. I used a 9mm Glock because this was designed to replace the 9mm handgun with basically NATO hot spec 124 full metal jacket, but it's hand loaded stuff. It's pretty hot. 2 shots at the one plate, the right plate, imparted, to me it seemed like it imparted more energy than the 5.7 on the center plate, which I shot. A little bit more swing or smack there. But the 9mm, you'd be hard pressed after 50 yards to hit anything, and of course the handgun. But they designed to, that was the original intent of PDW, like the old M1 carbine. Did the plates at distance. If you watch the video, you can see the vapor trails. I missed a few times. I could barely see the plate back there in the light, which was this little reticle. And I did hit it several times. If you were to buy one of these, you're better off the Picatinny rail, I would say. That actually makes a carry handle too. Well, it's cool to have the original military configuration, military sight. You get a better optic. 3.5 MOA dot is pretty wide. So you're basically covering 7 inches of the plate at 200 yards with that little tiny dot in the middle. And the inner ring, is 20 MOA, so 40 inches at 200 yards. Yeah, that's how much space it would take up. Hit the plate, hit the 100-yard plates, no problem. I did miss the smaller plate. I was shooting just under it or off to the side, but that was me. The rifle's pretty accurate. Did the accuracy target? It was about 4 to 4.5 MOA. Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 in here. Oh, one in the bullseye, one in the 10 ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are actually my first hill. That must have been me. I just went up. But the gun basically is patterned around here, and that would get the job done. If you're shooting at somebody at 100 yards away. Would I hunt? This is not a hunting weapon. Could you press it into service and shoot, varmints? Absolutely. I'd probably use a VMAX. If you had a pest or something, a fox killing your chickens or something. I shot the 220-yard plate, the 100-yard plate. Then I shot offhand, camera on me, and then the overall scene. And you see me easily hitting the plates. I don't want to burn up too much ammo, but I burned up enough. Just demonstrating it. I guess if I had the time, I could have got some old, soda bottles and blast them. But what's the point? You see it hitting the steel, the reactive targets. Did the thermal effects test. Body armor. Level 2A, an old level 2A vest I had, panel laying around. I got a few of them laying around. Put it in front of 6 inches of water jug. 3/4 inch piece of plywood, simulates heavy bone. Another water jug. Two more water jugs and a piece of ply. I think the first test I only used 2 water jugs because I didn't think it would go through the plywood. I knew it would go through the body armor. It's just a function of velocity and a pointy projectile. In the old standards with body armor, they had a V50 rating, velocity, at which half the projectiles will punch through soft body armor, whatever the rating was. It was usually, a V50 rating of 1,600 feet a second. These are moving to 2,000 feet a second, 2,050 or 2,100. And, punch right through, like any rifle round would, because it's in the rifle round when you're above 2,000 feet a second. And, punch right through the jug, blew the jug up, went right through the 3/4 inch piece of plywood, which is an analog for a heavy bone. And I actually got the plywood. I used a fresh piece, but I shot it twice, 2 different tests. Blew up the other water jug. There was fragments in the one piece of plywood, a couple of jacket fragments. Repeated with standard thermal effects test, no body armor, water jug, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, 2 water jugs, some more plywood. Blew up the first water jug, went right through the 3/4 inch piece of plywood, went zipping, ripping through the other 2 water jugs. That's a very good result. And it veered off to the left and went into the woods. But these are the 2 hits. I believe this was test 1. Entrance, exit. And I flipped it around and turned it back to front, so test 2 was that. Entrance, exit. You can see it going sideways, you know, ripping a bigger hole in the plywood. The field strip I did on a separate thing that I'm going to insert into this summary here. I'll probably put it right at the end or near the end, or right after I say goodbye on this thing. Comparative recoil, the 2 terminal effects test, shooting offhand with the steel plates. A lot of fun. I think I got everything in there. Very capable firearm. Like I said, the sighting system, it ain't bad for like a military style sight. You know, it's small. You bring it up on your shoulder right to the eye level, you can see straight through it. You keep both eyes open, and it's easy enough to aim with. But if you're looking at smaller targets at distances beyond 100 yards, it gets very, very difficult. I'd be better off with iron sights at that distance. But it is cool. It has the stamping there on the side. PS90 5.7X28mm up on this upper charging handle. And the magazines, I don't know if I made it clear when I was loading them, but they just slide in. When you're over here, over this part, you just whack them down, and you can't baby it. And you pull these 2 little levers to release the magazine. That's basically the manual launch system. And if you practice, it's pretty quick. If you had a carrier, you can swap them in and out pretty quick. Yes, I think I covered everything. That's all I got for the PS90, other than my nice little tennis racket gun case here. These are actually made for ARs. You take them apart into 2 pieces, discreetly carry your AR. But the little PS90 goes in there very nicely. With that, I'm going to end this video. I'm Old Gun Guy. Have a good evening.